Howdy and welcome, guys. It's a cold and windy day here in March, but I'm finally back from school on my spring break. So you know what that means. It's time to finally work on the car. As you can see, it's kind of tucked away there in the barn. It's been sitting there for the past couple of months. And I know a couple people are probably wondering what this bad boy is, and that is my brother's project, and it is a K20 swapped Civic. So he's in the process of figuring all of that out right now. But today we're going to drag this thing out of the barn. We're gonna go for a drive and talk about some stuff. So let me see if I can get this thing started up, pulled out, and then we'll head out. So I'll see you in a second. And I don't know if I showed you guys kind of the most recent updates in the engine bay here, but you can see the most drastic difference is this OEM coolant overflow tank. So this unit actually usually goes over by where the turbo intake is, but there was no room. So I 3D printed a couple of brackets and moved it over to the left side of the car. And the whole reason I went with an OEM unit is because on the Chase Bay's coolant overflow tank, which usually sat right below the turbo, kind of in this area here, you couldn't see how much coolant in it, or how much coolant was in it, which was a problem because when I was low on coolant, when I was having all those coolant issues, I had no idea if I was low or if I had too much or whatever. So I went with a a translucent, transparent OEM unit here so we can keep that coolant level in check. But other than that, really no surprises from what you guys have seen in the past. So that's all that's new in here. Let's go for a drive. All right, guys, so let me kind of update you where we're at with the car right now. First and foremost, the dyno tune. That was supposed to happen this week, and it is no longer happening. I know, I'm really bummed out about it, but it is not because the car isn't ready. It's actually because the tuner isn't ready. So the car is good to go this week. I'm gonna be putting a bunch of miles on it to get the break-in miles out of the way. But yeah, the tuner he had a scheduling issue. So that date got pushed to May 17th, which is after I graduate college, which I'm really looking forward to, but that is like the new date on the tune. So what are we doing this week? Basically, like I said, we're putting a bunch of miles on this car to get the break-in miles out of the way. And I don't know if a lot of you remember, but in the last video, or last couple videos, we were having a mysterious coolant problem, like missing coolant. Coolant was just disappearing. So this week is kind of all about seeing if the fixes I made over winter break fixed the mysterious coolant leaking problem. So I will be monitoring the coolant level like a hawk this week. Luckily, like I showed you, we have that transparent overflow tank now, so I can really keep an eye on it. But we will be making sure that, you know, we're not missing coolant, because if we're still losing coolant, then we have a huge, mega problem. And I will be really not happy about that. So that's definitely on the books for this week. That's what we're going to be testing out. What else are we doing? There's a couple minor fixes we need to make. Nothing major at this point. We pretty much have everything ironed out. So like over my last break, I did like a fluid flush of the whole car. So the coolant got changed, the oil got changed, the gear or the transmission oil got changed. So everything's kind of been freshened up. And yeah, this week it's really all about driving this thing and making sure that we fix all those little teeny tiny problems, which I'm excited about because, like I said, I don't get to drive this thing very much. Taking a look at our temps and stuff here, we're looking spicy. We're looking good. Oh, that feels awesome. I forgot how fun this thing was. Woo! Oh, that's great. Oh, some twisties. We can't go fast yet, unfortunately. But after the tune, oh yeah. All right, so that's where we're at with the car, and I'd love to tell you a little bit about where we're going with the channel, so, or at least what I'll be up to with the channel in the future here. So basically, I graduate college in May, and then I get married in June, very exciting, and then in July, I will be moving with my new wife to Connecticut for our full-time jobs. Now, as it stands, we found a apartment with a attached garage, which means that I will be able to work on this bad boy when I move, which is sick. I'm so stoked about that. You have no idea. So that's kind of the plan for the next like 6 months or so. So content-wise, we will have definitely more video. I can put out more videos because I won't be stuck up at college away from the car. So that'll be really exciting. There's going to be a lot more content coming out more frequently. But what kind of content am I looking to put out? So first and foremost, after the dyno tune, I'm sure there's going to be like some last minute things that we're going to want to get figured out with this car. So I'll probably make a video on like the last little touch-ups. And then of course there's going to be a bunch of videos about me like autocrossing the car and you know, just enjoying how it drives. But there's a lot of other stuff that I have planned for the car. I actually have the parts to do all these upgrades sitting in my room right now. So the plan is to completely overhaul like the suspension, the brakes, the wheels, the differential, the subframe of the car, because as it stands right now, all of that stuff is stock. So I've got new wheels and tires, a big brake kit, coils that are going on, and an OS Geiken LSD that we're going to install, which should kind of complete the drivability of the car, which is super exciting. And then after that, I also have some parts to update the looks on this car. I know a lot of people like the stock look, and trust me, I think it's very tasteful as well. I love the look of this car. But ever since I had this project in my head from when I was like 13, 14 years old, there was a certain way I wanted this car to look. And no, we are not throwing like a wide body kit on this thing and slamming it or anything like that. But I have all of the parts to do a Type X conversion. Yes! Okay, so as I was saying, we have all the parts to do a Type X conversion on this thing. So I got the front bumper and side skirts and everything from Japan. Super stoked. I'm really excited about that. So that's also coming down the line. So there's a lot of stuff that we're doing to the 240 in the future. So that will be great. All right, so I've kind of talked about where we're going with the 240 content, but at some point the 240 is going to be kind of complete, right? Now I'm never going to stop making videos on this thing, but eventually there's not going to be much more work to do on this car. So where are we going from there? Well, I have a couple other projects that I'd like to start on, that I'd like to bring to the channel, that I'm really excited and passionate about. One of them is a project that I've wanted to do since high school, which is build a absolutely mental cross cart. And if you guys don't know what cross carts are, it's kind of like a cross between a dune buggy and a go-kart. They race them in Europe a lot, and I just think these things are absolutely mental. They throw street bike engines in these things commonly, at least, and they just look like a total blast. So I'd love to absolutely go crazy and build one of those with some insane power numbers. All right, so I'm gonna keep on driving here, and then we'll get to fixing kind of one of the minor fixes that needs to be made on this car, which we'll jump to right now. All right, guys, so the issue is with the downpipe here. We have an exhaust leak right here at the coupling between the downpipe and the turbo exhaust housing. Now, the Borg-Warner turbos use what's called a Marmon clamp, or a Marmon style clamp from their outlet to the downpipe. So I had to get a special clamp that's not a V-band seal welded onto my downpipe here so that I could couple everything together. The issue is that I just realized that everything was leaking, and the reason I was able to do that is because I did a exhaust leak test, which I did by taking a shop vac, and you basically switch the outlet so that instead of sucking, the the shop vac is actually blowing, kind of like a leaf blower. And you stick that end into your exhaust pipe and you block it off with like a rag or something. And then you just kind of take a spray bottle with soapy water and you spray all around your exhaust manifold and your, anywhere the exhaust gases go to see if you get bubbles, if there's any leaks. And I didn't even need to spray around the old clamp here. I could literally feel the air being pushed out. I actually got an exhaust leak all around. At first I had an exhaust leak all around my exhaust manifold gasket where it couples to the head there. And that is due to the exhaust gasket, or the exhaust manifold gasket I was using. It was a CX Racing exhaust manifold gasket, which I've been told is prone to leaking. So I, over the winter break, replaced that with just a stock OEM exhaust manifold gasket, and we have not had a leak since. So that has been all fixed up. So anyway, my plan to fix this is, I purchased this copper ring on eBay from a seller that does custom size copper things. And basically my idea is to pop this in between the mating surfaces on this clamp, and when the clamp kind of tightens everything together, this should squish or crush, kind of like a crush washer or a big old crush washer, and it'll seal those surfaces together. I have no idea if this is going to work, but I figured I'd give it a try. I also have a new clamp here because this one, I want to say it's kind of worn out. I've been using it for the past 3 years and been taking it on and off, so I just got a new clamp to make sure that that wasn't the issue. So I'm going to go ahead here, pop this sucker off, and we're going to see if we can't get that washer in there. This is stripped, so the nut isn't backing off anymore. Essentially, the clamp is, well, it's stuck on there. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get that off. I'm not looking forward to that. I feel like I might have to angle grind it. Oh, the joys of working on a race car. Well, I managed to get that figured out. I took the loops on the one side of the clamp here and just bent them outwards so that this bad boy right in, yep, it's not even gonna move. It's all messed up, but this, we're not using that anymore. So here we go. I know it's hard to see. I'm sorry, there's not a lot of light down here. We're in the middle of the barn, but basically this is now free to move. And I'm gonna take my seal here and see if it fits. I did some rough measurements for this, so I hope it fits. We're gonna try to slip that in between. Slip this bad boy around here, trying not to touch the exhaust wrap. That seems to be kind of tightened up. I have no idea if that's gonna work or not. So I'm going to go and attach the shop vac, get some soapy water, and we'll see if this is sealing better than it was before. All right, guys, so I just tested to see if we had a exhaust leak still, and it seems like we do, but it is much smaller than it was before. So it looks like that copper gasket kind of did the trick. I don't know why there's still a leak there. I guess just the mating surfaces, maybe they warp with the heat. I have no idea. I wish it was a V-band clamp, but that's just not how Borg & Warner rolls. So anyway, happy that that got not totally fixed, but it's, the problem got certainly far reduced. I'm just gonna go for a drive. I've been monitoring the coolant temp, but yesterday was the first day I drove the car, so I just kind of marked where the coolant was sitting, and I'm going to just go out, drive, and in the next clip, I guess I'll keep you guys posted after a couple of days of running to see where we are with that issue. So I'll keep you posted.